A big thank you to the Hicksville Band for that introduction. How about that, Chuck?
Bandies are awesome.
Yeah. Welcome to week 12 of the Tim and Chuck Show, presented by Bat and Stevens Body Shop. We are here on location at Frickers. Another great spread, and Chuck, the playoffs are 1 week deeper.
Man, just keep rolling. It goes fast and fun time of the year. Really exciting stuff out there.
5 area teams left, Chuck. Another week of practice. What are these guys looking for?
Well, and I think you just said it right there. Another week of practice, what really helps some of these teams, and maybe not this year. A lot of people don't think about it. But you get an extra couple weeks of practice now. That's just going to help your younger guys, down the road. But, and it's been good weather, so teams are being able to get out and practice and work on the things that they need to change around from week 11.
Well, before we jump into the matchups, Chuck, Ethan got a couple shots from last week's game that we felt like we needed to talk about. Once again, a banner rears its ugly head.
Man.
Check out this in slow motion. Hicksville trying to run through the banner at the beginning of the game.
What is that paper made out of?
Was it paper?
I don't know. If that's paper, that says a lot about that paper company. They need to, somebody needs to get some sort of advertising contract with that paper company. That's awesome.
The most impressive thing was the two young men who were holding the post did not let go.
That's right.
Well, then we have another shot here that we thought was really good. We got a shot of Hicksville scoring a touchdown, and then the fan in the background doing the Arsenio with the arm wave. Woo. That was an excited fan.
Oh, I tell you what, and you know what I thought has really been neat in the last couple weeks and throughout the playoffs. A lot of these schools are letting people in the end zones. And I mean, that really adds to the atmosphere of the game. It's really awesome.
Yeah, Chuck, let's talk about this week's matchups. We got some Friday night games starting in Division 5, Region 16. 6th ranked Milan Edison. They're the number 1 seed in that region, 10-1. They take on Swanton, also 10-1. The 4 seed ranked 9th in the state. That's at Tiffin's Frost Calnow Stadium. We've been there a time or two.
Oh, yeah, once or twice.
And then also in Division 7, we've got number 1 Macomb. That number 4 in the state, 10-1. They're taking on Lipsick, 6-5 at Donnell Stadium in Findlay. Of course, we've been there a time or two.
Oh, yeah.
Macomb beat them earlier in the year, Chuck, 37-8.
Yeah, and it's that old adage. It's hard to beat a team twice. You look at, even in our area with Liberty Center, Patrick Henry, when they've met up in the playoffs after playing the regular season, Wayne Trace's in Tenora, schools like that.
Yeah.
It's really hard when you face a team twice to beat them that second time.
Yeah. Well, those are the Friday matchups. Now we go on to Saturday night. In Division 4, we've got the number 1 seeded Bishop Hartley out of Columbus, ranked 11th in the state. They're taking on OG, the 5 seed. They're 7-3. I'm sorry, they're 8-3. Bishop Hartley 7-3. They're at Bell Fountain All Sports Stadium. Have you ever been there?
Bell Fountain, no.
No, never been to that stadium either. Sounds pretty cool.
It's got to be nice though. It's got to be turf facility. So.
Yeah. And then also Saturday night, we're going to Division 6, Region 20. You know a little bit about this region. We got 8 seeded Delta 7-4 taking on Van Buren 8-3 at Holland Springfield Stadium.
Yep.
And then our game of the week, which we're going to be talking about next. Number 2 seeded Tenora, number 5 in the state, 9-1, taking on Colonel Crawford. They are 10-1, and that game's taking place at Lima Spartan Stadium.
Lima Spartan Stadium, another facility that they've done a lot of work to. It's another place that a lot of people from the area go to about this time of the year.
Yeah, and again, we've both been there, so we know a little bit about that stadium. So, Chuck, let's get into the game of the week. We got the Rams, like we said, 9-1. We got the Eagles, 10-1. These are two teams that you know a little bit about. As defensive coordinator for Ayersville, you played Tenora week 10. You played Colonel Crawford in week 11.
Yeah.
Tell me about this matchup.
Well, when I look at the matchup, their offenses are both geared and run around quarterbacks. Even though they're both great athletes, but they do it different ways. Colonel Crawford, the Kirkpatrick guy, great athlete, big, strong kid. He's looking to run first. He's looking to get the run game going with his running back out of the shotgun formations that they run. And, with near 2,000 yards rushing this year, that's what he wants to do first. Okay, if you stop that, though, he does have the ability to get deep, which we found out last week when we stuffed him a little bit. They hit us big over the top, so they can do that too. But then when you look at Tenora's team, B.R. Renolette, he's an athlete. He doesn't like to run it a lot, but when he drops back to pass, man, he has an arm. He's going to stick it in there, and if your hands aren't ready, he's putting it in your chest or your face basket. I mean, he's got a really good, strong arm, and that has really helped that Tenora offense, round out and be more balanced because of his ability to get the ball downfield.
Well, I know, Chuck, you talk about these matchups every week. It's going to start and end up front. Who do you favor in this matchup? Maybe Tenora's offensive line versus the defensive line, and then vice versa?
Well, I think it's going to really be this is going to be fun to watch. If you're an offensive line person and you would just sort of enjoy old school people smashing each other, that's going to happen in this game. You look at Tenora's defensive line. I think they might have the edge a little bit over Colonel Crawford offensive line. But in Colonel Crawford, their defensive line, they've got some big dudes up front. Like I said last week, they do some damage at a buffet, and these guys do. I mean, I saw them walking around last week before the game. It's cold outside. They got, guns out. They don't care. Big guys. But then they can switch it up to you on passing downs, third and long situations. They can bring in some smaller, quicker guys too. So they have the ability to sort of give you both looks. So the Tenora offensive line is going to have to deal with both sides of the coin. Big, strong guys, and then quick, fast guys.
Well, you talked about Kirkpatrick. Will Kirkpatrick, he's thrown for 1,250 and 12 TDs. Like you said, 1,815 rushing yards and 27 touchdowns. And then they have another 1,000-yard rusher in Blake Trash. He's got 1,050 yards and 15 TDs. So they're ground-oriented, like you said. Yep. Now, flipping it over, Brevin Renolette, you just talked about him. He's thrown for 1,314 TDs. His top targets have been Nathan Dravis, 21 catches. He's got 6 TD catches. Reed Anders, 16 catches, also 6 TD catches. But, on the ground, you talked about it too, Chuck. They're going to be pounding it. TJ Garris, 800 yards and 10 TDs. This is, like you said, a slobber knocker on the way here. Yeah,
and, it's going to be it's almost strength against strength. The guys up front, who's going to win out? Who wants it more? Who's willing to dig down and get that little bit extra to maybe get that extra yard that you need, or a big player there.
Yeah, winner goes to the regional championship, one step away from state.
Yeah, it's a good game. If you're not doing anything Saturday and you're bored, get down there and watch this game. It's going to be an awesome contest.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Did you know with an online subscription to the Crescent-News, you can read every article, see every photo, download and read each printed page, and see all of the deals offered by our advertisers? For only $7 a month, you'll know the news in Northwest Ohio as it happens.
And we're back, and it's that time of the week, Chuck. Time to hand out some awards. Yes, Let's start with the Rose Insurance Collision of the Week. What do they say about that, Chuck?
Well, it's getting cold outside, and you might need to winterize, because sooner or later you're going to have the big Rose Insurance Collision of the Week.
What do you got?
It's coming from that Hicksville game, the playoff game last week. You've got Hicksville quarterback Garrett Krall. He throws it deep to Travis Lysite. And, every big play downfield has big-time blocking, and Trevor Kryling hands out some punishment downfield for the big play.
That is our Rose Insurance Collision of the Week. And now it's time for our Jacobs Meets Play of the Week from that same game, Hicksville and Tiffin Calvert. We have something a little different for you this week. Hicksville ended up losing that game in overtime, 42-35. We really enjoyed what Hicksville coach Lucas Smith had to say to his team following the game. That's our Play of the Week. Check it out.
We did not achieve all the goals we wanted to tonight. Do we still have a chance to impact and influence our community each and every day that we live? Yes, we do. Okay? That never goes away. Don't lose sight of that, all right? Well, there's bigger, better things than just high school football, guys.
Chuck, being a coach, you know about this message. What did you like about what he said?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's spot on. As coaches, you talk to kids about this all the time. When you're 17 and you're all in for something like these kids are on that football team, it's hard to understand, but there is a lot of life after high school football, and so many great things that these kids can do, and the lessons that they can learn from even losses, is going to help them with all the things that they can do after high school football. That's
your Jacobs Meets Play of the Week. Now, Chuck, it's time where we thank our sponsors for all that they do for us. Pat and Stevens Body Shop for being our title sponsor, Frickers for, look at this, what they do every week, Rose Insurance, and of course Jacobs Meats. Thank you guys. We really do appreciate it.
Oh yeah, it's great. And what they do for high school sports in the area is great. And the support that they give our young student athletes is just phenomenal.
Yeah. As always, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And if you have questions for us, email us. It's going on right down below us right here.
Yep.
And before we wrap up week 12, Chuck, you have any words of wisdom for us?
For one of my seniors out there that was on the football team, as the football season goes on, sometimes you got to dig, you got to fight a little bit, but no matter what happens, if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
See you next week.